Okay. All right. So the Hangouts on air is live, and I need to create a new link for you guys. Hold on. Dean, you're still here? Okay, I just need to figure out how to send the invite to people. Oh, there we go. I found it. I found it. I'm sending it to you guys. All right, bye. All right, Dean, you're here?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool.
I think the video's up on our channel now, so you should be able to take a look at it.
Hold on, let me check. DNA Crows. Oh.
Are we good?
Yeah, it's live. Where's everybody? Did you send them the invite?
I did. I made sure. I didn't completely boomer that part.
All right.
I mean, there we go. There's Tug.
All right, we are live too. You know that, right?
Yes, I
Yep.
see people already in the chat.
Yeah, you can see the live button up in the top because, yeah, you were boomering this up.
Big time. We're just waiting on BP.
That's like good, man.
Apparently, someone is requesting that I do something.
Do what?
Wear the mask. You guys are live. Also, Crow worm the mask. Boomer.
Is it Karen? Kayla?
Yeah, it's Karen. No, it's Karen.
You gonna...
Hold on. Yeah, hold on. That's how I was getting earlier. Be right back while we're waiting for BP.
So dead air.
Yeah, exactly. That's the highlight of professionalism, Diddy.
That's what happens when you let a boomer run the stream.
This is very uncomfortable.
It's very creepy.
Right?
That actually is kind of damn creepy, man. You should run around your neighborhood with that thing on.
Imagine going to a con with that.
Just like this.
I like Tug's mask more.
Well, just think about it. If I had been there, nobody would be talking about Tug's mask.
That's true. They'd be like, "You guys see that giant bird person?"
Yeah, that's what they would have been talking about for sure. They'd have been like, that had to be a real bird person. Like, oh, shit.
I would have taken away all the criticism. But you know what? I love the eyes here.
Dude, where is BP?
I don't know.
Yeah, actually, I thought it would be good to get a few people that actually saw Matsuri together and talk about some of the things that were there, because all of the negative press versus, I mean, the reality of it. The reality of it was a lot of fun, to be honest.
Oh yeah. No, it was okay. I gotta take this off. I'll put it on later for you, Karen. Don't
Oh,
worry.
come on, boo!
Oh,
Leave it on.
Dude, it smells though like a mask.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's crazy.
No, I had so much fun at Anime Matsuri. I hope BP jumps in here in a little bit, because we kind of like met for the first time over there, and there's a lot of I don't know. Okay, I gotta take this thing off. Fuck it.
That's smart.
Yeah, now just imagine wearing that thing for like 4 days.
Oh,
That's
dude,
much Anime Matsuri,
how the hell did you do that?
Oh man. Well, I mean, there's not a lot of choice to it. You either do or you don't. And I don't know. It was kind of fun though, in a way. It's so bizarre to think we were invited to a gathering where we talked to quite a few people. We're invited as press and everything else, and I did it all in a hockey mask. It's a really strange idea.
Hey, BP.
I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you were live too, by the way.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah. I always. Yeah, if you're on this is just to tell the chat. This is their first time rolling it through Hangouts live like that. If you look in the corner, it'll tell you if you're live or not. So just always check the corner.
Good to know.
All right,
Yeah.
Dean. None of those jokes. People will
What
hear
jokes?
the ones that we always have to edit out of our videos. None of them.
See, I like rarely edit jokes out of our videos. They tend to make it.
Anytime you see a jump cut in our videos, just
That's
remember what it
because you don't
is.
know the name of somebody. You're like, hold on, I need to look at this person's name.
It's like, who's that lady in the debate? Miriam. Let's cut away from the video for a second.
If you see a jump cut, it's because somebody's a boomer, not because of a bad joke. Bad jokes make it.
They tend to. We have no shame. And no pride. Absolutely nothing.
That's actually the best way to be, it's just like shortening the handle to my channel, becomes a sex joke. Oh my God, it's Tug plugs. It's like, hey man, you can't make fun of anything after that. I mean, we fuck you, like what else is the other side going to do about that? Nothing.
That's true.
I just got to own it.
Your name's Tug. You could tug somebody's hair. No wonder you support Vic.
That's what it was. It's about being the true Tug.
It's apparently the only move you can make on someone.
Man, those people are crazy. I think they threw out, they served their intent to bring Nick in for deposition, but also you saw the other people for preserving documents. I don't know if some of those names. I know at least one person on there. I don't think their name was public, and I think that that Shane Holmberg just doxed who they are.
Well, didn't Shane Holmberg actually dox fucking Monica and them?
Yeah. When he's putting out documents, I thought he, I hit his new that newest document that was up. The notice of intent to serve subpoena, and when I clicked on it because he put it out there, I thought that was Nick Recada's new address on it. I was like, oh shit, I just I just threw his address out to about 1,200 people. Oh shit, but,
dude, Shane is. I'm kind of glad I'm blocked from him, because BP knows that I don't stop talking to people. Like, I'll just keep going on and on and on.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. When I was not blocked by Shane, I'd see him post something and be like, look, dude, this is stupid. And I just go back and forth with him for a little bit. He insults BP's avatar. So I say that he has a Payless diet, and then he's got instantly blocked. It's like, I was like, you started it, dude.
Yeah, well, I got blocked by Shane from not even like an argument. He said something, and I just kind of corrected him. I was super nice, and I just got instantly blocked. I was like, that's so weird, because he doesn't block all like super hard. He's not a super hard blocker.
I mean, in the facet that he's not like bot blocking people, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think he'd do that because he's not that large of a. Well, he is a large dude. He doesn't have
he's
that.
gotten pretty big-ish.
He doesn't have that large of a following where he can just go ahead and start doing bot blockers and count on people to come to him. He definitely requires people to go at him so he can get attention and get support for fighting.
He only wants small fries going at him though. Like he didn't want any. He wants Nick every now and then. You know, I think he wants Nick really, but but yeah, I mean, he only wants to mess with usually small accounts because a lot of these people will do that stuff. You know, they try to show off for their side. Other ones will run a block bot. Like I noticed Shane McCormick, he ran a block bot on me, but then unblocked me. So he'll block all of my followers. So you know when he's flexing, he's like, "Oh, look, you can't get any engagement." And it's like, "Oh man, fuck you." you
that was crazy, right? Because you talked about the Shane McCormick thing. So I went to go look at the guy. I was trying to look him up because I was wondering who the fuck is Shane McCormick. And when I was looking him up on Twitter, I finally found his account. I'm like, why am I blocked from this guy? I've never tweeted a single fucking thing at him.
He block botted you, but you know when he unblocked, that's what I'm saying. Like he blocks. These are the people that are just insulting normally to consumers. They'll block, like they don't like me, they'll block me and everybody that follows me. The people that want to again look like big, you know, Billy Bob Badass to their crowd, but they can't stand actually having anybody, you know, any dissension. What they'll do is they'll run that bot on me and all my followers, but then they'll unblock me so they can talk shit to me, but they can't get anyone saying anything back.
Yeah,
I'm
moreover,
like, man, that is pathetic.
They'll take their following and sick them on you while hiding from yours. It's pretty cowardly.
I'm just like, bring it. You know, every time you guys come at me, like you just make me bigger. You know, who cares? You know,
but when they come at you, do they take you by the hair after pulling your neck and hiss in your ear like a cartoon snake?
And then just give it a little tug.
Thing. That is so bizarre to hear, like hiss in your ear like I've had probably, you know, I've looked through bad pickup lines. I probably said stupid shit when I was drinking or whatever, but I don't remember ever just hissing in a woman's ear to come on to her.
That's my signature move.
There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, you're basically
women love
it reminds them of
definitely be remembered. Let's
yeah, you would definitely be remembered. All right, they'd remember a lot about you when they were writing up that police report.
First impressions are everything. First impressions are everything.
Oh my god, dude! Did you guys see It's a Gundam's video on this shit? Some dudes did a study in which they just took like these male models, and then in the profiles they basically put like has done jail time for sexual relationships with this and that, like really, really bad shit. And they're still getting like people contacting them, wanting to hang out and meet up with them. It's the sickest shit I've ever seen.
That sounds like people having relationships with animals, has had sexual relationships with this and that. That's kind of a scary way of putting that.
I mean, like the responses that they get are just so funny. It's like one girl, he's just like, it doesn't even matter what I say. She's like, what? And he gets her fucking number anyways. It's the funniest shit I've ever seen. And they're all telling the same thing. I read your profile, and people change. And I'm like, what the fuck? The dude is just, oh my god, it's the funniest thing. You guys got to see it.
Were they wearing like onesies, like in Zoolander?
I probably. No, I think he posted it yesterday. I'm just like watching this video. It's like girls on Tinder don't give a shit, and they only go for looks, right? So you just got like male models saying like they've done these awful things, and then the messages talking about how it's not really their fault, and how they were this old anyway, so it doesn't matter. And then the girl will give them their fucking address and tell them to come over. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, man. I guess it just depends on what your goal is.
Your goal is if it's no expectations, yeah, you got it. You got it. Lord. I don't even want to think of what goal that's chasing. I was like, what could be your goal? Well, you want to have a really bad experience and end up, getting to talk to the police in real time. Yeah, there you go. That's good stuff.
Hey, first impressions are everything.
Yeah.
Dean, don't try that. Don't.
I'm already
don't.
down with the hiss, with the snake hiss. I don't need another. I don't
He's
need
got
any other
enough
moves.
right there. So, Ted, what was your impression of Anime Matsuri?
I liked it. I've not been to I don't think I've been to what you would call a formal convention ever. Back in the day. I sound like I'm talking about like get off my lawn, but back when, like you just have like they felt like swap meets. You'd have a few people there to sign some stuff, but I've never been to an anime convention, so it was a great experience. I thought. I had good people, fun. It was very weird to see the people who were, boycott Anime Matsuri talking about the place versus the reality of it inside.
Oh yeah, like on the first day, which was actually day 0. I didn't know at the time because I didn't look at the schedule. But everybody's just sitting there, and we're all stuck, like not doing anything after registering. And there's like at least, I don't know, thousands of us, a couple thousand. The doors finally open. We go in, and it's just like the gaming stuff. I'm like, man, this is kind of underwhelming. But I found out later that wasn't the first day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. When that first day, I didn't know what to expect. I mean, honestly, it was interesting to, the idea that people there, like getting to know different YouTubers and it just people and the audience and the community. That was awesome. I didn't realize there were so many people that were at Anime Matsuri that knew who like the IStandWithVic YouTubers were, and they've been attacked so often. Like I heard some crazy stories about the boycott Anime Matsuri people. They've been going not just after the convention, but after these people's actual lives. Because they work there and they've never had anybody stand up for them. So they really appreciated us, and I really appreciated them. They were, they were beyond nice and helpful to us.
Well, that's why people have the avatars, right? And the whatever names, right? You kind of want to be able to speak your mind without having somebody look for one moment and take something out of context from 20 years ago, like they did with Vic, probably, and try and ruin your life with it, while acting with impunity at the same time, because up until this point, there have been no repercussions for these things. So if you're one of the voice actors involved in this at this point in time, you're watching this thing unfold on Twitter in the days prior. And it's just like, well, I've seen this before. This guy's done. We're going to get him. And nothing's going to happen to me. And they talk the pretty game, like, oh, I'm risking my career. It's like, no. Chris wanted him gone. Like, what are you really risking at that point?
Mm-hmm.
If even like your superiors don't like the guy,
you can tell that there is no repercussion and that these people are risking nothing. When again, I think depending on the person, like a Shannon McCormick, still employed with companies out there, will actively, call people not only Nazis, but pick fights with people on social media. They have no repercussion. I really don't feel like the lawsuit, it may scare a few of the big dogs, but it won't back this stuff down. I really don't know how to, until something changes societally. I don't know how to stop this or to back it down.
Well, you have culture lag, right? Like the law hasn't caught up with the technological advances, like social media. The law barely knows what Facebook and YouTube and all this stuff is at this point in time. So things have changed with social media. You level an accusation, it causes damage instantly. It can go viral and it lasts forever.
Yeah.
Why there are so many issues when it comes to tech platforms and the behavior that they allow and the behavior that they don't allow in their platforms. because they'll only silence one side of the argument. They'll allow people to act like children on the other side, and you just it's like when you it's like when a kid like steals a cookie, right? And you punish them, right? So they don't do it again. Then you allow another kid to do it, so he does it again. Then he takes it to the next level, then the next level, then the next level, until they're just like this fat, slobbering idiot that can't fend for themselves and is just used to taking things from other people.
Why does every
not only
conversation
that,
roll back
though.
to Shane? I'm just wondering, like, you talked about a fat, slobbering idiot. Why do we always have to roll back to Shane? I'm just curious.
Because I appreciate my fucking chair, and I'm very offended by what this man did to his.
Yeah, actually, oh God, I'm telling you, his house looked like a fucking war crime. Oh my God, humans actually live in that thing. I wanted to apologize to his family.
I'm just glad the shoe was actually on the cutting board instead of on the kid's toy thing, on the burner on the kid's stove. At least it's probably for him.
Yeah, he's not feeding it to the kids.
It sounded like you were going to say something there, Dean.
Oh, did you not hear me?
No, I cut you off. My bad. I was rude.
No, I'm just trying to give you a chance to talk earlier. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, we were talking about the whole tech platforms and how the law hasn't really been able to catch up with tech. But you have like Google basically saying that they're going to disobey Congress.
Oh yeah, the Veritas video,
how
right?
does the law even start to catch up when you have these giant tech platforms?
Yeah,
the only thing I would say to that, and if anyone ever asked me that question, I'd say the same thing. You need to take the 230 protections that they have away from them. Like the law is in place for these platforms for the most part, it would be civil cases, right? Defamation, things like that, because threats and acts of, trying to cause violence, those aren't protected under the First Amendment. So if people are engaging in that behavior, it's criminal anyways. It's not allowed. But because they have 230 protections, they are supposed to act like platforms that promote free speech. Instead, they act like publishers. They pick and choose what they want on their platform, but then they're also exempt from the content that's on that platform. I think the easiest way to get around it is to take those 230 protections away from them.
Maybe I'm wrong here, but I know YouTube has the 230 protection because they are supposed to be a platform. Does Google, granted, obviously Google owns YouTube, but Google was the ones that said that they were going to disobey Congress, essentially. But does Google have the 230 protection, or is it just the company they own, YouTube?
Well, I think it would be on their social media platforms. There are certain things that you just can't stop at Google. Like if they want to go through and fuck with their search bars, right? Like bias all the searches. I don't know how you get around that. I honestly don't. I'm just not.
Well, I don't think that would necessarily be the same issue. Granted, it's wrong, it's immoral, but
I think it's just a part of like the whole compass of what they're doing. But as far as like with YouTube specifically, and we're newer to YouTube, so we could be completely wrong here. I think the main issue is where you have people going to speak is on social media platforms. That's where you need to end the censorship, and that's where the focus needs to be. You can't stop Google outright from doing all the things that they're doing. They're just so large and massive.
Yeah, take it one step at a time.
Yeah, I think the social media platforms are where you have to focus for things like that.
Yeah, it's part of their de-incentivization of all of this stuff. One of the ways that you were talking about manipulating searches and everything else, if no one can find your content and you have to do all of your content for free while, they talk about a different kind of content is not only promoted, but it's also incentivized, given a monetary incentive, then a lot of people will either shut the hell up and go away, or a lot of people will totally change what they talk about. They may not change their opinion on, topic A, but they won't cover topic A anymore. They'll switch to something totally different. I know a lot of YouTubers that say that. All this, I call a lot of this just pointing my finger and laughing at dumb shit. Whatever I think is funny, I want to laugh at it, you know, and I want to laugh at voice actors right now. Well, other people, they call that part of a culture war, and culture war is definitely is under heavy scrutiny, you know, because these platforms, they're starting to bend to, you know, what they perceive as bad press. You get a place like Vox, even though people like us, we buy products too. You know, we don't just go out there, but we bring people in. The people that are listening to us buy certain types of products, so it makes sense to have advertisement catered to them. Now they say, we're afraid of what's there or what might potentially be there, so no advertisers, period.
Yeah, you're completely right. I'm a perfect example, actually. Like, my channel's demonetized, and I don't know for sure that it's because I'm talking about a sensitive topic to some people, or if it's because I clipped Nick in like 5 of my videos. It could be either, but judging by what everybody's talking about lately, it looks like it's the prior.
Well, I mean, I think AG is in the chat right now, watching the video. But I was watching him on Deep Humor's video about this, and Tug. Have you seen anything Deep Humor's done? They're usually like less than 5 minutes. He doesn't. Yeah. He doesn't get like angry or upset. He doesn't start like talking in hyperbole. Like I do that all the time, and I try not to. Like, his stuff's just straight to the point, and it's like instantly demonetized because it has to do with the Vic situation. It's very strange. It's very weird, and I guess like a year or two ago, I'd say, oh, dude, that's a conspiracy. There's no way, but it just lines up with the actions that Google has taken with other things. And I mean, you have one, you know, big partner, one big corporation, a channel with 2 million subs coming in and saying, hey, this is harmful for us. Can you do something about it? I mean, I wouldn't put it past Google or Funimation.
We also have this problem of, like, when I look at business trying to make money. I mean, I've been absolutely astounded by you have zealots in places like Google, and you have them especially in entertainment as well. And these people in Google is so big that it makes money. But you know, you look at comic companies, or you look at anime companies. These people are crazy. I mean, you would think that people working in a company would number one, cater to their audience, but number two, they would make sure that any behavior that divides and drives away audience, that, you know, that was punished. You know, and it's quite the opposite. I've never seen anything like entertainment. It took me about a year to even get used to the idea that talking about, I mean, professionalism was probably my biggest and mainstay topic I talk about on my channel. But those professionals out there, there's no incentive for them to have to listen. They keep their jobs. These companies, they may flounder and go out of business, but they seem okay with it. It's such a bizarre world. I don't even know how to look at or speak to companies when, again, they're not in it for a monetary gain. They're not in it, you know, for that secondary thing like professionalism and on. They're in it for something else, like a pulpit. You know, it's, like I said, it's very bizarre.
Well, you can definitely get some attention and clout by doing it. You know, it depends on how big the company is. But if you start spamming some kind of message that, you know, a bunch of like super zealous people are going to buy into no matter what, then you're going to have that small following. Even though it's a small following, they'll have it and not be completely irrelevant. But it is weird to see like these megacorps like Google capitulating to these people. You know, when you open a private browser and you type in men can, and it's like all this stuff that a man would typically probably not type in. You know?
Men can get pregnant, right?
It's men can do all the stuff that women do naturally. But if you type in women can, then it's like women can do anything and fly. And it's just like, they're definitely trying to engineer like society. They're trying to change the way, I guess, that people think about things.
They're engaging in social engineering.
Yeah.
It's I don't know how it pisses me off when I read those articles. Like the next day, you see it on digital media sites and everything, and they always say the same thing. This claim was made without evidence. I'm like, well, there's evidence there. You guys just don't want to fucking look at it. Like, how many times do you need somebody who works within Google or Facebook or Twitter to come out as a whistleblower? How many ex-employees do you need to come out? How many times do you need to see it for yourself before you stop going like, oh, it's just a conspiracy theory? I mean, like, you're being like willfully obtuse. It's embarrassing, man.
I mean, I've watched companies fail over. I've YouTubed. I mean, I've had a YouTube channel longer, but I've actively YouTubed for a little over 2 years now. One of the companies that I enjoyed talking about, I've documented them as they've lost money, is IDW. They're the fourth largest comic publisher out there. I mean, the fourth, if you're talking about someone with a 10% market share of over $1 billion industry. So you're talking about a pretty powerful company. Well, this company, it has success for almost 2 decades. Then it decides to get woke. It loses about $800,000 as its overall, earnings for a year, like negative earnings. And then last year, this company was worth $49 million. Now that company is worth 16 million going into the year. So they went from 49 to 16 million dollars in worth, and this year they've already lost 8 million bucks. So they're only worth 8 million bucks. You watch something that's taken almost 2 decades to build. Well, once you put it in the wrong ownership's hands, I mean, these people, they destroy fast. And I don't know. You'll see a lot of these places listen to social media outlets like Twitter as well. And you have people there that are very loud about, say, anime or comics or what have you, but they don't buy any of that stuff. That's what's amazing.
The consumers aren't even on Twitter a lot of the time. Like, most people are just too busy actually living life
right.
instead of being angry about something all the time on Twitter.
Well, I mean, that's the issue, because Twitter goes through and they ban so many people for, I mean, just posting things that don't fall in line with that group, right?
It's not just the legal system. It's businesses too. Businesses aren't training people to expect and handle like waves of negativity or positivity. Like, if you get a bunch of like false positives, that could be damaging too if you make a business decision on that. People are acting like the internet doesn't exist.
I mean, but like with Silicon Valley and the companies that come out of their tech companies, it's especially bad.
No. I mean, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say one thing about that to add on to people not being on Twitter. Like a lot of people that you'll have, a few people that are on Twitter and they're like, oh my God, why do you do videos about things on Twitter? Well, it's because, I stopped covering Twitter, and I noticed that a large portion of my audience were like, hey, why don't you tell us about the trash fire there? Because we don't want to be on Twitter. We never want to go over there. I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Well, I think who was it? Back to the whole like how this impacts consumers and everything. It's like the Hidden Tribes report came out and said only about 8% or less of the country is like super ultra woke progressive. So I don't understand how you make an entire company that's supposed to be for everybody and you pitch it to less than 8% of the country that ain't interested in your product in the first place. It's like what was it, Cyberpunk 2077, right? And you have all these people getting outraged and offended and pissed off because of the Haitian gang that's in it, right? And then you go to the E3 coverage and you see Haitians playing it and they're freaking super excited because they're listening to people speak in their own language. We have a bunch of white people going out and talking about how it's racist and offensive, and the black dude who created the game, the board game, the tabletop game, and is working on the video game himself, how he's also a racist. It's the stupidest shit I've ever seen.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi.
you want to go play?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, she saw that we were live streaming. She was like, I gotta say something.
Oh, man. I swore too. I'm so sorry.
She loves live stream. That's one thing. See, I've liked about this community with and comics as well. I think I've noticed from the other side too. The other side of these social debates, they claim, you know, the high ground, but man, look at what they'll do. Anything from, I mean, we've seen the Antifa results, for example, but even, you know, bringing my kid on, I have to have 30 moderators on my channel when my kid is on because these people disrupt. They do nasty things, and it's kind of insane when you think about that. But our community is really good. I think our communities are very accepting. You know, the anime community especially. I've noticed you know, representation from everywhere because you don't ask people. I don't do a progressive checklist. I don't ask, you know, how woke are you, you know, what skin color you are, how you sexually identify or vote. You know, I want to, I don't know, hang out and goof off and make fun of weirdos.
Yeah, it's like you share a common interest, and that's all you need. Instead of trying to find ways that you get angry about something.
Well, and their anger makes no sense because it'd be one thing if they were consistent across the board and what actually offended and upset them, but it's literally just going to be something else next week. If they get appeased on one thing that they've said that they wanted, they just flip it around and want something else. They want more and more and more and more and more. They just want to be outraged and feel like they're fighting against something because I don't know, like they're bored or something. They don't struggle. I mean, if you talk to a lot of them, you can tell that they're well off or they came up from like well off circumstances, and they want to run out there and say like they're fighting against oppression and injustices that they've never experienced or seen. That's weird, man. It's fucking
free
weird.
merit, man. I mean, if you know, that's one of the things. Like if I told you that you have extra merit because of something you were born with, you know, there are a lot of people that'll say, hell yeah, give me that. You know, I want that. And these people just self-assigned it though. We're not talking about you know, we can argue about righting past wrongs or anything else. That's a different discussion. But these people, they self-assign, and it's so insane what they assign that for. You know, if I want the most clout, I noticed I was watching some I can't remember if it was a Discord server or if it was just like a Hangout server, and these people they were part of a big comic group. They call them the Portland Mafia. They're basically gatekeep comic books. Well, I was watching the way that they interact, and depending on who had, you know, like just one person came in and they sexually identified a certain way, and you know, they were considered a quote unquote person of color, they had more clout. They would treat everybody like shit. And then another person came in with those identifiers, plus they were in a wheelchair, so you know, they were whatever they call that now. And I thought, man, this is weird. So the person with the most markers or the most merit, they don't also come in and add something better. They would treat everybody else like shit, and everybody would take it.
I mean, it's just not surprising. It's weird too, because what are you going to do if you have someone who's mixed race, right? Like,
Well, you're just not enough. You're not
no,
enough.
yeah, right.
I guess it depends on the day and what you. Well, it's just like
depends on your politics, is what it is.
But that's the thing. Like these same people, right? I'm Arab, I'm Muslim. If I speak out, I get called a fucking token. They have no morals or integrity in what they say. You have someone who's like half white, half black, then they'll focus on them and say, well, they're black and they've been oppressed because of the way that they look. I mean, that's racist, no matter how you think about it. And then they'll turn around and call everybody else racist. It's the most bullshit thing I've ever like. Watching it is such, man. There's so much hypocrisy. There's so much bullshit, like just all around it. The way that they talk about people, the way that they refer to them, and it's beyond racist, just in the sense that they'll look at those same minority groups and say, "Well, because you're not white, you don't have the same level of ability that us white people do. So we need to give you handouts to stop bigotry of low expectations." 100%. And if you
insulting, man, that's
insulting, dude, totally.
It's like losing a game on purpose for somebody. What's wrong with you?
Well, it's like which one's worse though? Like going in there and being their fucking pet and being coddled, or speaking out against them and they just call you a fucking token because the only minorities that they respect are the ones that bend the knee and do what they want. It's
You know, you're talking about representation, and you think about this. It's kind of the core principle, right? Like we need more representation in this and that. And the scary thing is they're not completely wrong that representation is power. If you have a message that's shared enough, people tend to believe it. You know, at the very least, you control what people think about.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's why it's so dangerous when you look at these whack jobs. Why do you see the growth of this? Because the representation or the overwhelming representation of this specific message in places like media, in places like education. It's I don't know. I feel like I woke up in some bizarre world though. I sometimes I think what in the hell has happened? You know, when did the world go insane?
I think it went off the deep end at 2016, and people just couldn't accept.
No, totally.
I mean, it was kind of going there for a while, but I don't know. I guess we just have to have moments in the world where the stupidest stuff happens until some line is finally crossed, you know, and good people are just like, you know what? We don't want this. We don't want this in our lives anymore, and we're finally going to do something about it.
I'm just wondering where that line is.
I think it's when, you know, everybody is alt-right except for like that 8%, and we're almost
so like
there.
now.
Yeah.
So now.
Yeah, like literally now. Like how many of my left-wing friends, shout out AG, like how many of them have been labeled alt-right just because they don't walk lockstep?
Me.
Yeah, exactly. Right here.
Dude, I'm Arab. I was like, I'm not even sure that's like allowed.
Oh, dude, it was so funny for Dean here, right? Because I tell him like hop onto Twitter, like make sure you make an account, we'll promote the content together, right? And yes, the content. But he jumps on, right? And he's talking to somebody, and I think he was calling them a cuck or something. And they turn around and they tell him that he needs to stop using alt-right verbiage. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they were like, you're not like left leaning. You're obviously alt-right. I was like, dude, I'm definitely left leaning, and pretty sure Arabs can't be, like, they're not allowed in in that group.
Oh,
right. It's this process of trying to dehumanize people to
Yeah.
get our message to be absorbed and listened to and believed, while decrediting other people because of some kind of random arbitrary title you can apply to them. Oh, they're not just left, or they're not just right, they're alt. It's like, well, that button is pretty far to the side on either side of my space bar, but you know, a lot of people are just that space in between the alt
it's just
buttons.
I mean it's a word that doesn't have a specific meaning, so they can just dance around it. And obviously, if you look at it, alt-right comes from those people like the neo-bad World War II people. They want that to define them, right? But then you'll talk to people in the media who clearly know this, right? And they'll go and say alt-right, but we're not really talking about that. What we mean are the really fringe extreme. Well, what are you defining it as? Well, then they go and use the word that the World War II word. And it's pretty clear what they're saying. Like, it's very clear what they're saying. But if you call them and push it on it, then they try to deflect and say, well, that's not what we actually mean. No, we're not really saying that. It's the dumbest shit. And then I think, Tug, you quote tweeted somebody, and I went through their whole tweet thing defending the whole Antifa beatdown of Andy Ngo. And I'm sitting there going, like, this is a woke white dude who's defending the predominantly white hate group beating down a gay Vietnamese journalist. Like,
woke white dudes are my favorite. The woke white dudes are the fucking best.
They're really entertaining. It's just
they
like
love to bring other people's race into it. They love to bring other people's like race into it, and it's like, dude, that is like not you're white. You maybe like, do you not see the irony? Like,
Oh,
because they
they're
want to they want to weaponize something, yeah, that doesn't belong to them. I think that's I don't know. It's funny in a lot of ways to
they're
watch that
legit
dance.
racist as all hell, though.
It's so sad.
I just love the whole "we punch Nazis" while being the fucking fascist. Like,
I've just noticed nobody wanted to, as much as they've wanted to call me a Nazi and shit. I noticed nobody wanted to come up and punch me when I was up at the, as much as they talk shit. Like I said, I was, they kept calling us, they kept being like coward. I'm like, shit, I'm right here. You know where I'm at. I'm broadcasting. I went outside by myself, but, I'm, like I said, I'm 6'7". I may not be, I may still dad bod it, but I'll still kick the shit out of it. I mean, that's no joke for them. Huh?
Okay, yeah, legit. I would be terrified if I had to fucking face Tug in that mask at fucking Anime Matsuri.
Yeah, I mean, I've already
even
seen
without the mask,
react.
Even without the mask, you're like 1,000,000 times taller than me. I'd be scared. Like,
guys, this is Steve's actual size.
Let me take it back to Anime Matsuri then. So Tug, did you have anybody mention politics to you, like from just people wandering around meeting you, not like behind the stage or anything, but?
No, man, nothing. It was it was like wall to wall fun, basically. What was really, I think, what was really, I don't know, telling about it is, you see the voice actors with people being excited about them. Well, what's really weird is people get excited about the same way about meeting. Like I had somebody cry when they met. I was like, dude, I'm just some guy that's wearing a hockey mask around here that has like a YouTube channel. It's not that big of a deal, but you start realizing this is a positive community, and people are happy that you do something that they don't want you not to be part of that. Even I would even go the other way. There are probably many people there that I'm sure that a few of them at least knew who a Ricada was, or myself, or Hero Hey, and didn't like us. But you know what? Nobody had anything bad to say. They let us do our thing, goof off. It was, like I said, it was a positive environment.
Well, it's different. Like social media is a different world altogether. You see someone in real life, generally, in that environment too. I can't imagine the same people that are running around wanting to take photos and shoot them out for a little internet clout are then going to run around and go out and start shit with you in public. I don't think that they have the spine to do it in the first place. But beyond that,
there's 20 of them and they're wearing black masks.
Yeah, no, 100%. They can do things they're not going to do it on their own. But I think it's just different. I think if people were actually able to go out there and talk, you'd have a different environment altogether. It's when you have 20 people who all think the same way, like you were saying, BP, just dressed in all black and covering their faces. Some serious shit's going to go down. It ain't going to be good.
You also have to remember, you can't expect there to be an honest or rational conversation. Again, depending on like certain types of conversations, like this stuff, for example, some people may approach this and genuinely want to know what's going on. But I mean, really, like some of the people that started in on a Vic Mignogna, they wanted to burn a guy's life out. They thought they would do it. They would do it like that, and it would all be over. How are you going to have a genuine discussion with those people? You can't. And then, on top of that too, there used to be that whole agree to disagree, walking away from conversations at the end. People have become so polarized that it's sad. You can't have a lot of honest conversations these days anyhow.
Well, you're trained to just block people, In the internet world, if you're done with the conversation, you just click a button. It doesn't work that way in your real life, but more and more those interactions are being taken away from people by advances in technology.
I mean, the thing is, if you really don't want to hear what someone says online, I hit the block button. I try not to block people, period, even when they're being absolute idiots. But I get that. It's when you want to take away someone's ability to speak altogether that I think that you take it way too far.
Yeah, but that's like the goal every time. Like that's.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're a fascist, it is 100% the goal every time to take with speech of those who are dissenting from your world belief.
I mean, if you're the one that's getting the other person routinely
Today.
removed, then yeah, it's very childish, but it's also
Well,
it's it's very appeasing to feel like you're winning.
I don't want to talk about this
But we see
person,
that
but
every day, though.
look what happened with Renfimus, right? She used to have so much fun going out there.
Oh my
Getting,
gosh.
yeah. Hold just real quick. She used to have a lot of fun, like going out there and getting people banned off social media. You know, she'd talk about collecting Nazi scalps and shit. The girl was deranged and twisted, and then I think it was only like 2 or 3 people that got together and just decided, oh, you know what, we're gonna do the exact same thing to Renfimus, and just started hitting report on every single post she made until she got banned, came back, got banned again, came back for a day and got banned immediately. Then she just started blocking people, and I don't know if she cut it out for good, but she stopped making posts about getting people blocked and banned. It was, I mean, they enjoy doing it until it gets done to them, but then they think that it was done to them unfairly. I'm like, well, yeah, it's always going to be unfair. People are always going to look to take away the speech of those they disagree with. I mean, there are certain principled individuals who are going to say absolutely not, and then you have people who are going to go, well, it's okay because that person said something I don't like. And it's some people just don't have any fucking morals.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it, your viewing experience online, it's almost completely tailored to what you already think. So if you have a preconceived notion, or if you get convinced of something along the way, you start interacting with things. Those things lead you to other similar things, and you're interacting with that, and you're interacting with that. And on the flip side, if you don't like somebody and their conversation, you're just done with them. You know, like it's just a lot easier to hit that block button, or to mass block people to not hear any of it, for instance. And you can see like how this polarization is happening between people, where it's training adults even. It happens to all of us, but some people are, some people are more I really don't want to use that word, but they realize what's going on more than others. Like they're cognizant that this is happening.
Yeah. Hey, before we move on to talking about anything else, just real quick for the people that are watching right now, if you have questions that you want to ask us specifically, if you want to just post those in the chat, and I'll start reading through them a few minutes here. Are you guys all okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get the chat.
All right, so let's give them a couple minutes to get their stuff posted, because I think there's like a 5-second delay from the live stream, anyways. One thing I wanted to ask was because I've been laughing with Dean about this for a while now. Ron's immediate amnesia.
Yeah.
I mean, at what point is that not a good defense when everything is saved and archived? It's not a criminal case. You know, it's not like, oh well, don't be a witness against yourself. It's like, no, that stuff exists. So I really don't understand how that is a good strategy. I'm not a lawyer though. Maybe it is.
Okay, this is the thing I don't get, right? Like, God damn it, I understand thinking it's a good defense if they're oral statements that you made, and you can just be like, well, I don't recall ever making that statement, because then if you get busted on it later, you can go, like, I just didn't recall. I never said I didn't make it. But when you have them fucking archived digitally, when you ain't denying it, when there are text messages, when you are being sued for defamation and you're continuing to fucking tweet, how can you turn around and go, I don't recall ever saying that, Your Honor?
I mean, at first I thought it was really bad, but then I thought, what else could he say? I mean, what else was he gonna say about the tweets? I guess, I don't know, really is the best thing he could say. At first I was like, that's dumb. That's the shittiest defense, and it is a shitty defense, but there's no other option.
I mean, claiming, but honestly, what are you going to say? Like, I really just don't remember ever saying any of that. Okay, well, it's logged digitally. We have you saying it. So, what's your next response?
I'd say,
What was he gonna say though?
there.
I
definitely was making defamatory statements. Like, what do you want? Like,
I mean, I get it, but like, they're your statements. What are you going to fucking say, man?
yeah.
Your response is just
I'm
gonna
not
be, "Well, I
saying-
don't remember taking them. I was on too much fucking Ambien and whiskey, and just
Yeah,
fucking blacked the fuck out."
The
Yeah.
Roseanne defense.
I think if someone showed me one of my tweets, I would remember it 99 times out of 100 once I've seen it. You know, like I don't remember them all right now, but if someone asked me about it or showed it to me, you know, I'd know. Especially if it was one tweet out of 376 tweets, I would remember one at least. So you obviously know what it is. It's just a strategy.
Yeah.
But is it a good strategy? That's the question.
I just don't think there was any other strategy. It's not good. It's just.
Yeah. It's just like, what do you say? Like, oh yeah, I was dumbass. My bad.
I was being
My bad, man.
making defamatory statements. Like,
Okay.
if he's not.
We have one question so far from Spooky Weeb Trash. Why did you think that ramen restaurant was good? Okay. First off, they cooked the pork belly for 5 damn days. It is.
Oh, I've heard about this a million times.
Yeah, I mean, it is delicious. It was perfect.
Yeah, Dean, he can barely hear you now. It sounds like you fell in a hole or something.
Hold on.
Oh,
is there a way I can turn him up?
Yeah, there's a little control panel on the right side. You should have master control for sound.
Yep. Hold on. Dean, try talking now.
Yep.
I think that's better.
To be fair, Spooky, I didn't like it either.
Oh man, you guys are all wrong. It was so good. It was delicious. Everybody recommended it, and you guys just don't want to give me a win on the ramen.
The musubi was good, if I'm saying that right. The
spam musubi.
Yeah, but they were out of that at that point, so I was sad.
No, I totally get it. Mike Walters, not as much of a question, but an observation that I made a few lines earlier, and that why people keep bringing up politics is because we've been in an ideological civil war for the past 20 years. I don't disagree there. The thing is, I don't know if I'd really say it's 20 years, because I remember with how do I say it? When I was growing up, like, Republicans used to be just kind of. I didn't like any of them, right? They wanted to censor video games.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually that's
We've
actually a very
talked
good
about
point.
this.
Political
Sorry,
parties
go on.
often change stances over time. It's happened over and over throughout history.
And my God, when I think back, the satanic panic, man. I lost D&D games, all kinds of stuff, back when I was young. And, the same people that would burn your books then are the same people that defend your ability to role play or whatever now. And it's just astounding. You don't think you're going to find yourself allied with a lot of folks out there for certain points. But it's also, if we're talking about American politics, really, when you look at it, politics, it's so bizarre, because used to being a leftist meant small government, it meant so many things that were just anti-trusting this thing that most people don't trust that thing. Most people wouldn't pick left or right. They would say, I don't trust that machine at all. And now it doesn't mean that at all.
Well, see, because that's really funny, because I'm on the left, and that's what like blows my mind, is that the left used to hate censorship. You know what I mean? Like, it was the right. It was like the Christian conservatives that wanted to censor video games, censor South Park, all that stuff. And it was the left was really against that. And all of a sudden the left loved censorship. And I'm like, where the fuck did my party go? Like, where are you guys?
I mean, they gained power. That was the issue. They gained power, and then they realized that once you're in power, the easiest way of suppressing people from taking it away from you is to restrict their ability to speak.
Mm-hmm.
It's like because I'm going to jump around here because I always do this. When you talk about, like, the people trying to push for socialism, and you try to have any type of honest conversation with them about that, they turn around and they go, well, it's not real socialism what you've seen in Venezuela, and it was the government going corrupt. I'm like, well, you want to build a bigger government. You want to institute the same policies. how is it not going to turn out the exact same way? I mean, if you're not even willing to acknowledge that it's a possibility, I'm just not willing to listen to you.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, when you see what's going on right now with Google going through and removing all these World War II like historical videos explaining like this is how this happened, this is why this was bad, this is why it shouldn't occur again, and they're just like removing all of that. And so they're going, how are you not damning yourselves to repeat the exact same thing over and over and over again?
Yeah, if you don't have history to learn from, like we have our experiences to learn from. You know, you have history, so you don't repeat it.
In fairness, I never learned from my lessons, so I was cool with it.
And in fairness, he did say he was on the left.
There you go.
Sorry.
We can't associate anymore, Dean. I'm a libertarian.
That's cool. I mean, you said Aura was on the left though, because I'll just.
Yeah, no, I'm converting him.
Okay.
Nah, he's gonna co-host the channel with me, by the way.
We actually got a question from Toy Bounty Hunters for Tug. To Tug, did you ever get a chance to talk to Ruben at AM? And to the rest of you, what was your impression of Vic? So starting with Tug, I guess.
Good question.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to sit down and talk with Ruben a long time. One of the things that I noticed that when he had his panels, they were lasting for like 3 hours, and you know, I couldn't sit down for 3 hours. I think if I would have sat for 3 hours, I think I would have just locked up and died. So you know, I was like, oh my God, I've been walking for how many? There's 2.2 million square feet, and all we did is walk all the time. I didn't sit down even when we had we went to go see Vic. I didn't sit down because I recorded. So, you know, I literally never sat down. The only time I sat down was on the first day when I sat at my table for like I don't even think an hour before, you know, goofing off. But besides that, yeah.
Well, how about what was your impression of Vic then?
Well, that was interesting seeing. You know, he was very available. Number one to fans. He was also he was almost, I don't know. He was open to the point. Sometimes it was almost vulnerable. It was kind of sad, man. I mean, I felt good about him interacting with people. I thought he was trying to do well all the time, but I felt sad for the man. I felt like he seemed like the type that would try to make amends, which that's how I always read what he did on social media. And man, you know, if you do that to the wrong people, stuff he said there that I thought was very, like I say, open, you know, telling people about if you have 10,000 people telling you're important, you may think you're important, you have to reset. These people would, you know, misuse that. He seems, like I said, the guy that would be honest about it, that would want to make amends. And he seems like the perfect candidate to be targeted by woke people.
I can't disagree with that one. What about you, BP?
Yeah, just to elaborate on that, like if you tell people how you're actually feeling, but you like overcome those feelings, because we all have those negative influences and influencers, and if you explain to people like how you had this experience or you felt a way in the past and you overcame that and now you're this way, like Tug was saying, they'll use that as fuel at any point in the future instead of being like, wow, this guy he's being real with me right now. And that's the impression I got from Vic, is he was very real. He had been very humbled from the whole situation, and he spoke on things he was very forward. And everything that he said, the way he interacted with people, I could tell that it was legitimate. He was very glad to be there. He felt like it was a blessing to be there. I could say that just because, you know, like he's a Christian, but he was very excited to be there. He was very excited to interact with people. He interacted with me for 4 minutes when I went through his line the second time, even though he had this huge line of people behind me. He interacted with me for 4 minutes because there was a bit of confusion with autographs and stuff like that. But the guy, he was super, super good with everybody I saw him interact with. He is a good entertainer. Like, there's a lot to be jealous about there. The guy is very likable, just in his ability to entertain, to act, to sing. I can see why people don't like him. There's a lot there's a lot of Vic to go around. You know, this guy's 56 and I think he's better looking than I am right now. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, let me just say for both Ruben and Vic. When it comes to Ruben, I got to go to both of his panels. If anyone hasn't had a chance to see some of the things that he does, it's really out there, but it's so damn entertaining just to listen to. I sat through the first panel without realizing what time it was by the time we wrapped up, and the second one I definitely felt it, only because it was my second night in a row and I've been walking around all day. But Ruben is amazing. He is super friendly. And the first night I went there to record his panel, he actually just started having a random conversation with this one dude sitting there talking about freaking Ben 10. And they started going into comic books, and it was just a ton of fun. Like, I was really personable. And when it comes to Vic, the way he acts during those during the panels, and the way that I got to see him acting outside of it, he's really friendly. He's really open. He's really warm, and I think he just enjoys being around people and talking to them. And yeah, I remember I see those tweets where people are like, he doesn't care about his fans, and all this other shit. I'm like, hey, he kind of feels like he really does, and it's not just being done for you know, his own benefit. He seems like he genuinely enjoys getting to talk to people. He really enjoys the work that he does, and I remember, like, BP. When we went to the final panel that he did, he's chasing around that, or the little guy in the Pikachu costume.
Oh yeah, that whole thing was hilarious, man. He's a funny guy.
It really is. Like, he's throwing candies at this like inflatable Pikachu costume. No, honestly, Vic was amazing, and I'm always. I'm always suspicious of people, and I'm not trying to sound like paranoid, but I mean, I'm suspicious of people's motivations and what they do. But I don't get that vibe off of Vic, even in the slightest. He seems to really love the fans of his. He seems to really try to make going to those conventions fun for them. He doesn't seem like he's just going there to collect some money. He seems like he just does it because it's what he really loves to do. And I think we'd all like to be able to do a job where we actually enjoy the work we're doing there. But super professional with everybody, very friendly. And I remember at one point during one of the panels, someone did bring up the whole situation. It brought the room down, but Vic was really good at bringing things back together and making light of it, trying to get everyone to stay in a positive mood. With everything that's going on with him, I don't know how he's able to do it, but he's just. I'm talking a little bit too much. I think the dude's great, though. And Dean, I know you weren't there, but.
I wasn't, but I got to see a lot of footage. You know, I made a whole YouTube video with all that footage. It was it was like I was there. Next time you got to bring a cardboard cutout of me, though.
How about you just come next time?
I come all the time.
I mean, oh my goodness.
You walked right into that one.
Yeah, but did I have to?
It's your own fault.
I don't know. Maybe you liked it.
Not.
No, but yeah, no. I would love to come next time for sure.
See, that's why you can't bring it up like that. I mean, if you just left it alone, it would have been okay. But yeah, no, Vic, he's a good guy. I mean, what can you say? He's not perfect. He's made mistakes. He was probably one of the best versions of himself when we were there, and I could definitely sense it. And I'm one of those guys too. Like, I'm very suspicious of idols and whatnot. Like, but he was honest about, you know, what happens to these things. Like, people, we want to believe that we're great and that we're doing good and that we're special and all this stuff, and that's fine or whatever. But yeah, when you have tens of thousands, or heaven forbid, millions of people saying like, oh, you're this incredible thing, of course it's going to go to somebody's head. And anybody who's sitting there being like, they'll say it to the fans, and you can feel it. You know, certain. "Oh, I'm so grateful that everybody came here. You know, it's like, yeah, you're probably talking trash about us as soon as you go home. You're probably talking trash about certain sections of your fandom in the car on your way home. You know, and I didn't get that from Vic. I got a genuine vibe. And he was super excited to be there. He's super excited to see everyone. And he handled himself well throughout the whole thing. Didn't take any breaks almost for days. Like he was at his booth. He's at his booth for hours and hours.
He'd go
Immediately
to the panel and then just walk right back down.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay,
Very hardworking.
Toy Bounty Hunters had a great question there. Mike Walters, do you believe it has been going on longer than 20 years? Look, I think at any point you're going to have a large group of people that have power and will do anything to keep it. I don't think that it's specifically about the left or the right. I think you're going to have bad actors in both parties. I just think when the right did it, they were grossly incompetent. Now that the left's doing it, they're being backed up by major tech platforms that are not grossly incompetent. So I think it's a little bit more dangerous. Cameron Griffin, as someone who's been conservative politically since I was a young kid, I want to say I love you and I miss being able to talk to rational lefties. Come back, Dems. We need both parties. Dean, I think that one was for you.
Oh, thank you.
You need all kinds of people, you know, not just different ideas, but you need the good and the bad. You know, what is the good without the bad? It doesn't exist.
Yeah, so. It's like me and Crow on our show. You know, you got me the good, and then you got Crow the okay.
Hey, I'm up to okay now. I used to be a scumbag piece of garbage, so definitely.
Well, yeah, I didn't want to trash talk you too much in front of the viewers. You know.
Yes.
See,
well,
this is the kind of person I was just no.
Okay. Oh gosh, this goes on for a while. To BPM as you always should be. Ooh, when you've been into enough conventions and met several guests, you start to catch on to how transparent guests can be. That's from Toy Bounty Hunters. Yeah, because Toy Bounty Hunters did a whole podcast with us, talking about things from conventions and everything. And you know, he points out like you get to be around a lot of these people for a really long period of time. And I think he was talking about like specifically with Shameless, Shane Holmberg. You know, you think that you know these people better than you do because you want to be their friends and shit like that.
Yep.
I don't think anyone of us really thinks we have any sort of personal relationship with Vic because we got to talk to him for a little bit. It was more of just the way he was acting while he was there, the way we saw him acting outside the panels, or just like how in a rush he was to go from one thing to the next to just make everybody happy. I don't know. I just want to clear that up. Pixlexia at that umbrella guy. Can I get just one single spectacular, slightly dry-throated y'all?
Oh, God. No, you have to pay for that. No, I'm just playing.
Wait, can he even get
y'all? Man, I hate y'allisms. I tell you, it's more about the written word. It's more about co-opting. You know, these weirdos, they co-opt everything. When I see some SJW from, say, Michigan, freaking using y'allisms, yeah, I'm anti-y'all.
Well, she responded already. Oof.
It's like someone in the middle of like LA. What's up, y'all?
Oh, that hurts.
Yeah, these people.
When it's
not, look at the catchphrases. They'll ruin things that you think, yeah, you know, well, that might be interesting. Nope, never want to hear that said again. Never want to hear it uttered aloud again. You know.
Yeah, it really needs to be authentic for it to not trigger.
Yes, it does. It triggers my hatred, is what it does. You know.
So the way to trigger Tug is to mention y'all. The way to trigger Hey is to mention washing your hands.
I thought that was funny, man. I had to go and like buy him some of that artisan soap that was outside when they had all the booth set up. That's why I went outside. I was like, I wonder what they'll have out here. I wonder if they have any soap. And sure enough, they did. So got to give him his soap and everything.
The hunts for people were so real, though. On day 0, we were looking around trying to figure out the convention. That place was huge, and I can't believe that it was so packed with how big it was. It was huge. It took me 5 minutes to walk a straight line from one end of the building that was available to the other, and there was an actual line that filled that space in registration. Like I walked in the doors and I walked for like 3 minutes to go find Crow standing in the line to register for the thing. And these people that are saying like, "Oh, it was so empty, it was a ghost town," it's like, no, no. I bought some art and I was protecting that stuff. Like,
I remember that.
Like I was a defensive driver in a big city. Like everybody was just trying to crush my poor pictures because there's so many people walking around me.
Dude, when we got there, we had to we waited in 3 lines. It was the best thing ever.
Yeah, because I was trying to be your buddy and not take the super pass line, but little did I know that they wouldn't service me with a super pass in the normal line.
Yeah. So then I wait with him in the super pass line, and it turns out there's a second line or a third line for the concert. So I wind up waiting in BP's line. I'm like, well, I can't just abandon BP now.
I'm like, man, he stood with me through that line. I guess I'll stand with him through this.
So we had to do like 3 lines at the convention. We went around looking for Tug, and we're just posting stuff to Twitter about trying to find Tug.
I was just wandering around, man. You know, it was really funny. Like the first day I popped up, and it was just kind of fun. It was kind of fun to see how these weirdos didn't show, and how conventions really were, and how like I can get lost in a crowd, and how people can be like, "Are you the real Tug?" I'm like, did somebody actually come cosplaying as me? That's kind of an interesting.
Funny thing though, we actually saw you almost the moment we came in, because when I was looking for Crow, I walked for like the 2 or 3 minutes down the line, found him, and then like lo and behold, I saw you walking down past the line on day 0, and I kind of joked at Crow. I'm like, "Hey, it's Tug." He's like, "Maybe." I'm like, "No, I'm pretty sure."
Yeah, no, it totally was. But when we found you the second time, you had already switched masks, so it was a little confusing for me.
Yeah, well, I kept pointing my camera at the ceiling too. You know, a lot of people were like, "What the hell?" You know, we're watching Ceiling Chan. You know, we were trying to figure out where you were, but all we see is the freaking ceiling. So.
Corono has a question. Question here: are any of you going to Bubba Fest?
I wish.
Maybe it depends. It really depends on we're expecting our second kid, so it depends on, you know, all of that stuff, how it lines up, and da 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 da.
Where is Bubba Fest?
It is in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Okay.
I'm probably not going to go because it's a distance for me, without saying where I'm actually at. But I drove 20 hours to be at Anime Matsuri, and I'm a student again, so I'm not exactly swimming in cash right now between being a student and having a kid and all that jazz. So yeah, I mean, unless it's super close to me, I'm probably not going to go. But I'm definitely going to prepare to go to Anime Matsuri again next year, provided they invite Vic. You know, maybe even not. It was a fun experience, but invite Vic.
Absolutely. What about you, Dean?
I mean, I think most people would know I'm broke. I am also a student. I wish I could go. That'd be tight.
Yeah, actually, I don't know. Maybe we can make it a trip and we can start filming the convention down there. I don't know if people would be interested in seeing that, but wouldn't be the.
I mean, I would be down. You know me.
Yeah, I know. You're always down.
We need enough people to go to be the Ginyu Force and just like make a theme song with a dance video and everything.
Toku Sentai. Toku Sentai. Okay, this one's from Devil Hunter Nero. I'm probably saying that wrong. Did you see that Veronica wants to depose Nick? If they can, how does the group think it would go down for 6 hours? You know what? I'll answer this one first. I think we always knew that they wanted to depose Vic, and they wanted to get his deposition and then just spam it to everybody, like the worst parts that they could. But beyond that, I think that when they, I don't think it would go well for them at all because, Nick. Oh man, I'm sorry.
Nick.
Oh man, I feel like an idiot.
Him and like 8 other people or something, like Tug was saying, not public.
I think it would.
They would get destroyed. Yeah, I mean, dude,
embarrassing.
What are you gonna do? Like, bring him on there? He's gonna talk about how he likes to drink whiskey and talk about you idiots? Like, I mean, what? Like, I don't get. Like, why would that be a good thing? Where did you get these from? I got them from Ty Beard, like I said on my show. Was this news to you?
Yeah.
Would you like the recording?
Yeah, I wonder
You
if
would get a couple. And then I said, "Eat a jelly bean. This is America."
I wonder if it's an intimidation tactic, you know, because some of those people at least weren't in the public eye. It's like, okay, you know, one of them was a beard girl, a beard daughter, I think. Is that the case?
Yeah, but what was that thing I was seeing with it? They were saying they were calling one of Ty Beard's daughters Vic's girlfriend.
What?
Something, I don't know. There's like a
doesn't Vic have like a younger, like a girlfriend now? Like I think she's part of that list too. Like
oh, is that who it is? Because they share.
Yeah, they actually put it on. Okay, like that list. See the names on there. What's really shitty about that? I'm looking at Shane Holmberg's timeline now. One of the Kick Vickers filled in who all these people are. Now I think one of those people at least is not known publicly. So they just essentially they did dox somebody with information that I don't know if they wanted out there or not, but they never dox.
Doxing can only occur when it's a bad person like us doing it. When they do it, they're just revealing vital information to the public and doing a public service. I don't know how you guys don't understand this at this point. Jesus.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so dumb.
That's okay.
Yeah, my bad. I forgot we can only project all the bad onto other people.
God damn, but like, what do you guys think would happen if you tried to depose Nick?
It would
it might be see how it.
Okay, well, hold on. Let me ask a couple more questions. Hey, Crowe and Broly. This is Mike Walters again. Hey, Crowe and Broly, I want to thank you guys again for sticking up for me on Twitter a couple weeks ago. That poll received quite a reaction. Oh yeah, dude. Whatever. I like having fun on Twitter. You're cool,
every once in a while, people in KickVic, they get something and circulate it. I don't know where they circulate this stuff sometimes, but you have waves of traffic coming into certain areas of an argument or a non-argument. Kind of the same way these people, they disappear for like weeks, and then some post will be made where they feel like it has destructive value, and bam, there's like 5,000 people now that there's not 15,000. The numbers have shrunk.
Yeah, you're getting down to the more. See, you're going to get people on both sides. They're going to burn out, or they. I mean, you get people that genuinely are looking at this and curious about it. But normally the internet only has a very limited attention cycle. That's why if you look at these clout chasing weirdos, not only do they make statements, but they act reprehensible pretty much. That's if you look at Duchette, for example, that guy, he not only online, I mean, I was averaging this up, assuming the guy sleeps 8 hours. The guy posts on an average every 5 minutes for 16 hours straight. That would be his average for it. That's on a normal day. And some days it would be posting every 3 minutes for 16 hours straight. That's his average there. So when you look at that, you think, you know, what are these people doing? But then they go beyond that. And I mean, they have to really be just assholes because that is the culture. That's Twitter. That's Twitter culture. And especially that other side. That's why a lot of people drop out too. You see a lot of IStandWithVic people drop out because there's you know, you put a bullseye on yourself. The louder you get, the bigger the bullseye gets. You know?
Oh yeah.
Speaking of reprehensible, just people going after Nick's career, people going after his ability to provide for, what is it, 6 people between his kids and his wife, because he said something they thought was mean. They want to take away his ability to provide for other human beings that he's responsible for. Meanwhile, people are saying like how reprehensible me throwing some jelly beans at someone is. You know, you put these two things next to one another. It's like, okay, which is worse, a joke or putting somebody in poverty? You know, potentially.
I mean, you're talking to the same sort of people that will say speech is violence, but you know, milkshakes laced with quick dry cement. That's
perfectly okay.
Yeah, it's political discourse.
As long as it's aimed at the right person. I mean, essentially, is like what they say. As long as it's aimed at the right person, it's for the greater good. And that's
okay.
what the leftist way. That's what the leftist.
Lola Meets. Can we put the rumors to rest? Did Tug shower?
Yeah, I have to shower twice a day. Like if I'm at a convention, I don't like it. It's like a sweat box in that damn mask too. So I'd have to like freaking like ice my face down.
You know what? I got a follow up to that. Unknown Otaku and Spooky have been putting in the chat. They want to know if you can tell us the story of the stains we found at your booth when it was empty.
Oh yeah, no, that was okay. So what you have to do is pay for a cover sheet. That's part of the booth requirement. Well, I didn't know you were supposed to bring your own or find one and pay for one. So I was like, damn, I just need one where I can walk away. You know, I pretty much said that. So they were like, well, here's one, you know, and he had that big ass stain on the bottom. I was like, all right, well, it's free. We'll just put it back on. It was one of those, they were like, yeah, we're not going to rent this out to anyone. But no, I mean, it was just one they found on the fly. I don't know. After that, it did seem like it got more shit on it. I wondered if like somebody threw something at the bottom of the table or something. One of the weirdos out there, but who knows? It could have been anything.
Unknown Otaku again. We should just have a giant weed party at Anime Matsuri for a year. I'd be down for that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Like I say, I don't know. I had a lot of fun with it. It's actually cool to be able not only to get together and goof off, but again in that kind of environment. Damn. The only problem is like spending. I spent way more money than I wanted to.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I'm just reading something. I didn't mean to interrupt you, BP.
Now, I usually don't buy that much for myself, just kind of along the lines I was saying earlier, but there is some awesome art there.
Yeah, they had a lot of talented people there. You know, that's really what got me going. I was like, heck yeah, I got to get involved in that. Got to get on that, you know. And after a while, I was just like, you know, I don't know how much money I've spent anymore.
Hopefully the wife still loves me when I get home.
Oh man, my girl saw all the shit that I bought at Anime Matsuri and she was like, why? I was like, cause the room was empty and I needed more things. He's just like, you have all that crap in the living room. Why don't you move some of it into your office? I go, because it wasn't new.
And let me just double back to that, because I think this is true for Tug too, but don't let me put words in your mouth. My wife is actually the one who bought my pass there. It was her idea to go. Like, I really, really wanted to go, but she's the one who put it in action and pushed for me to go.
Yeah, my wife actually encouraged me to go. I was like, I don't know, these people are crazy. She was like, no, you should go meet people. You'll have a lot of fun. I was like, but these people are crazy. You do realize like they are crazy. She's like,
Yeah,
well, you're big, you're a big guy. And, somebody gave me you know, a, I don't know if I want to say that on here. They gave me a something that looks a little like a spaghetti filter that I could put my fingers through and, pimp slap a pimp slap a fool if they gave it. So I felt pretty good about that.
yeah, man. Dude, I mean, it's just crazy the kinds of things that people circulate, right? Like you see this stuff with Vic, like you see this stuff about yourself, and it makes you just like all that much more certain about things, like this thing about the hug and this stuff about like, oh no, your wife must feel this way. I'm going to tell you how your wife feels now,
Dude, I kept thinking, these people, I'm not shocked by anything that they do, but they get worse every day. Like
Yeah.
Their buy-in for confronting you again is, they don't dive out with an idiot or a moron. That's fine. But their buy-in, the initial one, is something that really tries to defame and ruin, racist, sexist, all of that stuff. And like I said, they just get worse. And they try to find anything that they know can harm or damage. And they're very good at that. You look at each IStandWithVic, like the prominent people I can think of. Nick, look at what they've gone after with him. In fact, I think they keep going after even more. They go after his career. They go after his family. They go after all of that, plus his ability to have speech at all. Hero Hey, they go after his setup where, he wants to be able to do this as a monetary consideration. He wants to be able to treat it like a journalist, basically, and they try to take that away. Yellow Flash, they try to take away his anonymity, and it's every person. If they find something to target, they go hard at it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it comes down to that immediately. That's the sad thing. You can't just turn it off. You have to go after people that you disagree with and try and cause real damage. And I think part of the reason that this has been happening is that there's no real legal repercussion that can realistically be made. And going back to Vic, like for average Joe to defend themselves against something like these kinds of accusations, you take it to court where you have a 50% chance of winning at best. That costs tens of thousands, if not $100,000+ potentially in a long case. People can't do that. You just can't. If Vic didn't have the GoFundMe, would he even be able to be doing what he's doing right now? Even Vic, who has some kind of money.
Well, I mean, I remember when all this was going down, they would make it sound like Vic was some loaded rich dude just hanging out with a bunch of fucking cash, stuff behind a mattress or something.
Right.
And I don't know if like that's part of how they justify doing that sort of crap, is that they go, well, he's going to be okay anyways. We're just trying to stop him from doing anything else. I'm like,
no, it doesn't matter. What? It doesn't matter. That's just their justification.
Oh yeah. I mean, but they
like,
justify everything that they do, and as bad as it gets, I think I put out a tweet like a week or so ago where I was like, they'll kick a puppy if they can justify doing it.
For sure. I mean, yeah, there's been no ramifications. So this is kind of one of those cases, though, that could start turning things around little by little. It's got to be piece by piece, and things can be referenced. But
yeah, that's actually why I support this case. Period. It's obviously burning down someone's life, but continuing on with it. What I find particularly fascinating is the challenge to 280 character culture. This idea that you not only set things on fire, like people's lives, but you do it with impunity. I've always wondered about the challenge, just from an outside perspective, just wanting to know exactly how that goes. I find it fascinating. But on top of that, too, there used to be this idea that we weren't right, left. We were right, wrong. You could look at it. Maybe there's shades of gray within that, but setting people's lives on fire without due process. We knew that that was wrong, and people have gotten, I don't know, I feel like people have gotten lost, and I think that they need a reminder. Maybe something like this can remind them of that.
Yeah, it shouldn't be who you voted for, like the first thing that it's like, oh, this person's going to fit into column A or column Z. But so often something like that, or whatever, like your politics don't match my politics, so therefore I have to hate you. It's definitely more and more prevalent.
Well, so coming from like somebody who used to like think that way, the way they get
Dang
you
it,
is
Dean.
the way they get you is you don't want to be a shitty person, right? And so like you have to agree or else you're a shitty person. And dude, it like it works. It's a great recruiting tool. Trust me. Like that's how they get people. Is they're like, oh, I don't want to stand by a rapist. I don't want to stand by a bad World War II criminal. I can't. And like, so you don't even look into it. You don't even look into the lies because you're thinking some of these people are my friends. They wouldn't lie. Well, your friends don't know shit either.
Well, they want to be a part of the group. They don't want to be outside of it.
It's not about being a part of the group. It's about being like moral, but it turns out you're not. You're being lied to.
But that's still being part of that group. I mean, here's the thing: they just shame you with your morals and kick you out, but they do it all the time. Like it the joke "the left eats its own" is a really true statement. They do it all the time, and what winds up happening is because they don't have any clearly defined rules for this bizarro society that they want, right? So they can just take anything as an outrage moment. Anything you say or anything you do can be deemed as white supremacy. Like there's this white supremacy pyramid this like super fat lady came up with, in which she says not having a political stance, being like politically neutral, that's white supremacy. So once you go down that route, once you basically say that if you don't have an opinion on something, that you're supporting something, you've lost the damn plot, you've lost your damn mind, and you will make anything into that. So then you can go ahead and target your own friends as soon as there's nobody else that you can target, and they'll go and eat their own all day long.
Yeah. But it works, dude. I mean, that's how I was got.
Yeah, no, it's powerful because you're right. Nobody wants to be sitting there being said that they are. It's like with the whole Dick Mignogna situation. They were saying the worst kind of crap about him. And I think they've even toned down their rhetoric from what they were saying originally, right?
But that's why I can understand why like a lot of people on KickVic are the way they are. It's because I don't think a lot of them are shit people. I mean, the high up people are because they're the ones spreading these lies. But the random person on Twitter, they just think that they're morally like they're against some guy who's a shitty person. So I can understand that.
Right, they're not talking about allegations. They're talking about victims before even going over the details to make sure that they are victims.
Yeah.
Well, I think I don't disagree with that statement, Dean, because I think there are plenty of people that just like a tweet, hit a retweet. They don't really say much on the whole situation.
Yeah.
But you do have the ones that will go out and
spreading lies that they know are lies.
Or no. I won't even say that because that definitely happens. But I'm talking about the people that just do the like and retweet, but then they'll see somebody come in like I don't know how many times he said like, "Look, I was a victim before. That's why I'm totally against these fake victims," right? And then people just start jumping down their throat, attacking them. I think that there is certainly like a level of tribalism that exists here, in which if your group says it, well, they have to be right because they're part of you, and no true Scotsman, the old line, right? It doesn't work that way. They're bad actors, and I think that you got to be willing to address them when you see them. You can't just sit there and go, well, they can't be they can't be in support of the things that I support because nobody who supports what I would support would do this. That's impossible. It never is. It never is.
This idea of guilty by association, sure. But, we're all associated with all kinds of people that we know not everything about. And their potential, they're capable of anything, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You can't live in this world where you damn everybody basically because you're associated with all kinds of people who are associated with people. Nobody wants to live in this world that they're trying to create. You know, we want to be
I
associated
agree.
with people. Each person is a world of potential and possibilities, and I think people have forgotten that, and it's very sad.
Oh, big time. But I don't know how you get past that right now, because it just seems like everyone is so dug in on their side, right? They believe this, they know it to be true, it has to be true, it can't be anything else. I mean, yeah, I don't know how you move forward from this, right? Like at a certain point, you need to be willing to accept that you might not be right about everything, but they're
Yeah.
so ingrained in the fight. They're so ingrained in being right that anything else, anything that could even remotely prove them wrong, they just don't want to hear it. They want to deny it. They want to fight against it. It's like you've basically taken their worldview and you've challenged that's little fake reality that they put together, and they just start tweaking out and freaking out, and they have no idea how to accept it other than you must be lying to them, because it just cannot be true what you're saying.
Yeah. Shout out to Marco Strange. Hey.
Oh, Marco's in here?
Yeah.
Ooh. Marco, what's up?
Polo, as was up.
Hey guys, I'm gonna have to bounce. I gotta get everybody ready for tomorrow here. You know, gotta get the little one in area, you know, and get ready for work. So it's been fun hanging out though.
No, thank you,
Yeah,
man.
thank you.
It's really strange that 2 hours passes pretty fast. It's kinda
yeah.
interesting.
Man,
We'll
holy
have to
crap.
like stream on a weekend. That way, you know, we can just stream until everybody passes out or something.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
All right, man. But yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Thank you,
Thanks so much for coming on, and it was a pleasure. It was really fun talking with you.
Yeah, guys, y'all have to come on my
Yeah,
channel.
thank you.
If
Yeah, man.
anybody, we were planning on, just to tell the chat, we were planning on having everybody on my channel. I want to get these guys. If you're not subbed, you need to sub to both people out here. Well, really anybody that comes on here. Let's build up we have a lot of up and coming channels. It's hard to hit that first, that 100, then 1,000, and then 10,000. Man, all those numbers they seem so hard to hit. So when people hit those, I mean, it's a lot of work. People put in a lot of time there. And, you know, if you like their content, make sure that you not only sub, but you stay subbed. But yeah, I want to have you guys on that way, you know, more exposure. And I don't know, it'll be a little, you know, like I said, have more people on, goof off, have more conversations about stuff going on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'd love to do that, and I know my brother would be more than happy to
Yeah.
talk with you more.
Well, yeah,
And now, I've got a
I'll
thing
see
against
when,
coming into big
I'll,
shit.
I'll set one up. I planned on having it today, but you know, YouTube makes other plans, so we'll do it again another day. But
All
anyway,
right, man.
later, guys.
Take it
Thanks
easy.
so much, and get better.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, oh wow.
Why don't you open up to chat again, and
Yeah.
we'll do questions and then end it there.
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions for us before we head out? Because it looks like we've been recording for almost 2 hours, and I'll try to have the video posted so people can check it out later. I just need to figure out how to do that. What is this? Maybe go with politics are for monkeys. Politics are for monkeys. What's wrong with that?
There was a chimps thing earlier in the chat.
For legendary monkeys.
I'm just saying, like, monkeys are awesome. I don't take it as an insult.
Sure, let's show something for Pixlexia.
What do you want, Shield? We're just waiting for the response. Here we go. Devil Hunter Nero, what are your channel's future plans, if any? My plan is actually to get to a point where I can steal BPM's channel and then take off from there.
Yeah, no, I plan to upload again, guys. It's been a long break, but yeah, for various reasons too. But I'll be back. I gotta make a video in the the interest will come back. It slowed down for a long time, and actually, the topic of discussion's been around me a little bit with the chili bean stuff. But yeah, no, I'm gonna start uploading again.
And for real, our whole thing with our channel, myself and Dean run it together. I think lately one of the things that's really been driving us is the censorship that's been going on. We're very interested in covering that. Things going on with the major tech platforms and the moves that they've been making. Obviously, we're going to stay in touch with what's going on with the Vic situation. If we think we have a unique opinion on it, we want to do a video. If we think that we don't, like, we're hearing the same things we're feeling being covered by other people, we're probably not going to talk about it too much, just because we want to be able to provide content that we find interesting to do at the same time, and politics as much as it's relevant. Dean, I mean, you're the other half of the channel, so you gotta get your input on this one.
Well, honestly, the goal really is just to continue to bring content that people like, and that we also like. I think we have a lot in common with the subscribers that we have. But I'm always interested to hear what people have to say about the content. That's really hard. I get a lot of positive, like, thumbs ups and shares, but I'm always interested to hear what people like and also what they don't like. Because, like I said, I want to, we want to continue to give content that people like. And like, positive feedback is great, but the negative feedback would really help also.
So long as it doesn't mess with the algorithm. No.
Spooky, who's your favorite Democrat presidential candidate?
Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah, I'd probably give it to Tulsi Gabbard just for the anti-war stuff. Beyond that, I don't really like most of her other policies. And if as a total joke, I would say Mr. Duke Nukem.
Wait, that's actually a candidate?
Well, it's Eric Swalwell. He talks about how he's going to nuke all the gun owners. It's pretty funny.
That was the first game I ever played, guys.
Yeah. What about you, BP?
I don't know the candidates. I haven't been following the politics that closely.
It's okay. As Sass keeps saying, politics are for monkeys.
Well, let me go back to the other question. Even though it wasn't for me, you really just have to upload things that you're interested about. Because for me, like I was saying earlier, my channel is not monetized. So why would I push the issue, right? So I think that's kind of one of the core reasons you should upload content, is because you're interested in it. So, and I think the DNA Crows have been doing a good job with that. They just speak their minds about what they find interesting, what's going on. And I think you guys should keep it up. You're doing a good job.
Oh, thanks, dude.
Thank you.
I really want you to go back to doing videos as soon as possible.
Yeah, if anybody has any meme ideas, I mean, they could be mean ideas too, but just hit me up.
Oh, I have so many ideas. If we're doing this, we're doing this for real. I was going to ask you Corona's question, but I think you got it in the chat already. The workout stuff. Where is it? At DA. Thanks, Dean. Hope you will enjoy it. Oh, that's Mike Walters. You subscribe to him? I'll subscribe.
Yeah.
Marco Strange. I personally like Pete Buttigieg. I don't. My girlfriend's from Indiana, and he's from Indiana. I don't like the guy. I'm sorry. He seems too much like he just panders. Tulsi seems like the lady's crazy. Yeah, I think that's kind of why. I like Andrew Yang too. It's just they cut his mic during the debates. We did a video about that and posted it. But the thing is, he's so mild-mannered. He did not actually try to speak up. And if you can't be assertive, you really can't be president.
Yeah. Like I was saying, if I was him, I would have just walked up to somebody else's podium and been like, "Hey, can we share?" and I would have done it to Bernie Sanders personally.
Yeah, I mean,
'Cause
if
he
you
likes
joked
to
about
share.
it, that would have been the best way. Like, if you were like super jerky about, I'd probably be scared of coming across as unlikable.
No, I'd have been like, "Hey, Bernie, you like to share things, right? Let me, here's your mic."
Oh yeah, check out Marco Strange's channel. He does some fun content. He does a lot of
Yeah.
Star versus the Forces of Evil. If anyone likes that cartoon,
Hey, we should actually start streaming Dauntless. As
we
long as we
should.
get home a little bit earlier, I can actually be there too. Maybe on the
Oh,
I'd be
weekends or
down.
something.
We could do it on the weeknights, like Monday, Tuesday. We'd stream Dauntless.
Yeah, man.
I'm down. If anyone's interested, let us know in the chat if you want to watch us play video games and talk about shit. Let's see here. Spooky, I streamed at a Bernie Sanders rally. That's funny. Dean, you used to really like Bernie, right?
Yeah, I liked him last election season when he wasn't just identity politics. But then I also was like, oh, I guess democratic socialism's also a scam. Because I didn't used to think so. So, but I did like him a lot more. He was a more likable person, for sure.
You grew up, Dean. What can we say? We're so proud of you.
I guess I got red pilled or whatever they call it.
Yes, you did. Pixlexia, if you're still here, make sure you send us the link for your.
She did. She sent the she sent the PayPal email.
Oh God, why don't I see it? Because I want to make sure I talk about it.
Shameless Dauntless plug is shameless.
Hey, I'm only gonna say this one time. If I see you in Dauntless, I'm gonna invite you to our guild like right away, and I expect you to join. And if you don't, I'll take it as a personal offense. No, but God damn it, I can't find this link that she sent. Dean, you see it?
Pixlexia1@gmail.com. That's the PayPal.
No, I just want to make sure that we tell people.
It's not a link. That's the Gmail for the PayPal.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah. Pixlexia.
Oh, channel art for us? That'd be really cool. Hey, everybody donate.
No, yeah. Please donate to Pixlexia. She's pretty cool, and she's been involved in the Vic stuff for quite some time, and doing some pretty nice artwork for it too. Pixlexia1@gmail.com, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. I'm going as far as politics are crap with different kinds of sprinkles. Yeah, kind of. Well, I don't have. I don't have anything else to really.
Wait, one more question.
Oh, there is? Where?
Why am I not a mod, you scrubs?
Huh. I don't know, but I'm a mod in your Discord server.
Yeah, where's suggest this?
Wait, what were your last couple of remarks, Mike? Let me see.
Okay, BP, you are now a moderator.
Sweet.
I hope you guys can check out my 2 latest videos. Saw that.
Mike Walter did we respond to your
Hope
last
you will enjoy it. We're gonna check out the content. I'm gonna check it out as soon as we end the stream.
Now I'm gonna get a summary because I'm going to bed. Hey, thanks so much for having me on, guys. It's been fun.
Yep. Thanks, BP.
Thanks for hanging out, chat. Appreciate you guys being here. Very first stream.
Yeah, I felt like it was successful.
I felt like I only boomered it up at the beginning, and I might boomer it up at the end.
You definitely did boomer it. Make sure that this posts and you don't delete it.
Yeah, like how do I do that without deleting it? I probably should look that up. Question. I'm just gonna hit stop broadcasting, and hopefully it doesn't wipe it all out.
All right, cool.
I'm pretty sure there's like 100% crossover between your subs and mine, but just in case you guys haven't, go sub to my channel, Rolly Power Maximum. You could even enter that in after youtube.com/. So, thanks again. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night, BP.
Good night, BP.
Everybody sub to him. He's really cool.
Yep. Make sure you sub to him. He's also a moderator on our channel now.
What's up?
All right. Well, guys, I'm gonna cut it out here. Thank you so much for joining us for the stream. It was kind of a last minute thing that got planned out because we were having issues with Tug was having issues with getting stuff to play on his channel. There wasn't that much of a time to blast out to people, but I'm really glad we had so many people checking it out. And if you could, please make sure you check out the content we do on our channel. We've been growing steadily. I think we've improved a lot of our audio and lighting issues. Dean does so much work editing things so people can check them out. We do our best to put clips into some of the videos, even though they're kind of immediately hit with a copyright claim. Sometimes it's just fun to put like a Fight Milk commercial into a video.
Did that get copyright striked?
Yeah, like right away.
Dude, well, it was worth it. That was.
Oh, totally, it was worth it. Watch your
That's like the
profit soar high like the crow.
I drink fight milk to fight like the crow.
But yeah, no, I'm really glad everybody joined. Dean, do you want to say a message before I stop?
Yeah, you know, at the end of every video, almost every video, sometimes we do something goofy. I always say, remember the conversation doesn't end here. Tell us what you think in the comment section. And I really do want to know what you guys think all the time in any video. And like I said, we really, really do like feedback, both good and bad. Honestly, preferably the bad feedback so we know what to change. And thank you guys so much for supporting us. Thank you if you just subscribed. We really do appreciate it. And we just hope to bring you content that you like. And if you guys want to follow us on Twitter, I'll type in my Twitter.
I have our Twitter handles in the description for everybody.
Okay, cool. I'm still gonna type mine. That's the Twitter. And yeah, just if you feel like you like this stream, go ahead, subscribe, and check out some of our content. It'd be really helpful.
All right, everyone. This went on for quite a little bit. Thank you so. What is wrong with boomers?
ComicCrowe, everybody.
Yeah, so many things. So many things. Anyways, guys, thank you again for tuning in. Please, we'll try to get this whole thing posted up here just so people can check it out if you want to go ahead and share it. If you have additional questions for us, if I missed anything, go ahead and just shoot me a DM on Twitter. Shoot Dean a DM on Twitter. If there's any topics you'd like us to talk about or cover, you think that we might have an interesting spin on things or our own opinion, you want to hear what we think, then please just hit us up. As I'm falling asleep too here, so I'm going to go ahead and stop it now. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.